This is a declassified overview from the Global Defense Force archives, a reconstruction of the events that reshaped humanity's understanding of the Titans. You are now entering the Titanverse. So, for this explainer, we're declassifying the GDF archive file on the Hong Kong Standstill. This was a pivotal moment, one that challenged literally everything we thought we knew about our place in the world. Okay, let's dive right in. Our reconstruction begins with GDF command tracking a high-velocity threat vector, something moving incredibly fast. So a single, high-speed entity was on a direct intercept course with Hong Kong, one of the most populated cities on Earth. And when you look at the GDF tracking, there was no ambiguity, no deviation. This thing was a direct threat headed straight for the city. The threat was quickly designated Quake-Wing, a Terran-class Titan. The profile analysis classified it as a Harpy type, which is basically a fancy term for a living, breathing sonic weapon. It was known for its devastating speed and city-leveling sonic attacks. Not good. And get this, it was traveling at Mach 3. That's over 2,000 miles per hour. It would have been on top of the city long before a full-scale evacuation could even get started. There was just no time. Now, the person in command of the response was Major Eva Rostova, and to really understand what happens next, you have to understand her. The GDF dossiers show her operational doctrine was forged in a past tragedy, which created a very aggressive, shoot-first mentality. She was not one to hesitate. But just as the GDF prepared to engage Quake-Wing, the entire tactical situation became, well, exponentially more complex. You see, while Rostova was preparing for a fight, GDF biologist Dr. Aris Thorne noticed a critical anomaly in the data. Quake-Wing's energy signature just wasn't consistent with an aggressor. It was broadcasting fear, not hostility, a piece of data that clashed directly with the visual reality of a monster hurtling towards a city. And then, Thorne's data was given a terrifying explanation. At that very moment, an entirely new threat erupted from the water below the city. It wasn't coming from the sky, it was coming from the depths. This is where the threat assessment became absolutely critical. The GDF wasn't facing one monster, but two completely different classes of Titan. You had Quake-Wing, a single aerial Terran entity, and then this new threat, designated Krak-Os, an aquatic, abyssal swarm literally designed to overwhelm and consume everything in its path. What happened next, in the span of just a few seconds, forced a total reevaluation of the GDF's entire core mission. Quake-Wing dove, but not at the city. Its target was the emerging Krak-Os swarm. It unleashed this incredibly precise sonic blast that just shattered their hive-mind coordination, throwing the whole swarm into total chaos. And in that moment, GDF chief analyst Dr. Tanaka connected all the dots. Thorne's weird sensor readings, Quake-Wing's flight path, the emergence of the Krak-Os, it all pointed to a single terrifying new reality. We were not the target. Humanity was simply standing on a battlefield that belonged to someone else. Quake-Wing wasn't attacking Hong Kong, it was defending its own hunting ground from an invasive species. This revelation, as you can imagine, created an unprecedented crisis for Major Rostova, forcing her to make an impossible choice right there in the heat of battle. And this really illustrates her dilemma perfectly. Her standing orders were crystal clear: neutralize all Titan threats. But the tactical reality on the ground was that Quake-Wing, her primary target, was now the single most effective weapon against the much greater threat of the Krak-Os swarm. So against every instinct she had, and against the very trauma that had defined her career, Rostova made a battlefield call that would change the entire course of the war. She ordered her forces to stand down against Quake-Wing and provide direct fire support for the Terran monster. And the crazy part? It worked. The temporary, unspoken alliance worked. The Krak-Os swarm was repelled. Quake-Wing circled the city just once, almost like it was acknowledging them, and then it left. For the GDF, this was the first recorded proof that the Titans weren't a monolith. They were warring factions. And humanity's role? It had just been chillingly redefined. The Hong Kong standstill left the GDF with an unsettling final question. What if we've mistaken an immune response for an invasion? As the data suggests, maybe Earth isn't at war with us. It's defending itself, and we're simply in the way. End of transmission. Next file, awaiting classification.